The lights went out, and my roommate's silence spoke louder than words. The storm hit like a freight train barreling through the concrete veins of Brooklyn. Rain lashed the windows of our fourth-floor walk-up, a relentless drumbeat that drowned out the hum of the city below. I was hunched over my laptop in the dim glow of the screen, fingers flying across keys, chasing deadlines for a freelance gig that paid just enough to keep the lights on. Ironic, considering what happened next. Alex Harper, 28, graphic designer by day, dreamer by night, scraping by in the shadow of skyscrapers that mocked my modest ambitions. The apartment smelled of takeout Thai from last night, ginger and lemongrass clinging to the air like regret. A crack of thunder shook the walls, and then nothing. The power surged, flickered, died. My screen went black. The fridge groaned to a stop, and in that instant, the silence crashed in heavier than the storm outside. Jordan was across the room, sprawled on the worn leather couch we'd salvaged from a curb on the Lower East Side 2 years ago. He didn't say a word, just sat there, phone in hand, its battery light pulsing faintly like a heartbeat in the dark. Jordan Ellis, 30, high school English teacher with a voice that could recite Shakespeare and make it sound like gospel. Tall, broad-shouldered, with that easy laugh that lit up parent-teacher nights but hid something deeper, something he never named. We'd been roommates since college, bonded over late-night ramen and bad horror flicks, but lately, the air between us felt charged, like the static before lightning. I fumbled for the flashlight app on my phone, the beam cutting through the gloom like a hesitant confession. "Power's out," I said, voice rougher than I meant. The words hung there, absurd in their obviousness. He nodded, shadows playing across his face. His eyes met mine for a beat too long, then flicked away. That silence, it wasn't empty. It was a wall, built brick by unspoken brick over months of sidelong glances and accidental touches that lingered. I'd caught myself staring at the curve of his neck when he graded papers at the kitchen table, the way his flannel shirt stretched across his back. And God, the way he'd look up, catch me, and smile like he knew. But he never said it, never pushed. And I was too chicken shit to shatter the fragile normalcy we'd carved out in this shoebox life. The rain pounded harder, wind howling through the fire escape like a ghost demanding entry. I stood, joints popping from too many hours hunched over pixels, and crossed to the window. Lightning forked the sky, illuminating the wet streets below. Umbrellas blooming like black flowers, taxis splashing through puddles. The city that never sleeps, forced into a hush. My reflection stared back at me in the glass, pale and uncertain, the faint scar on my jaw from a biking accident in freshman year catching the flash. "You okay?" Jordan's voice finally broke through, low and steady, like the rumble of distant thunder. He was closer now, I realized, had moved without me hearing. His presence warmed the space behind me, the faint scent of his cedar cologne mixing with the ozone from the storm. "Yeah." I lied, throat tight. "Just hate the dark." It was true in a way, not the literal kind, but the kind that hid truths you weren't ready to face. Like how every time he brushed past me in the narrow hallway, my pulse kicked up like I'd chugged an extra espresso. Or how I deleted 3 drafts of an email to my sister last week, the one where I almost admitted I wasn't straight, that the crushes on girls in high school had been a cover for the real ache, the one that bloomed when Jordan laughed at my dumb jokes. He chuckled softly, a sound that vibrated through the floorboards. "Liar. Remember that blackout in sophomore year? You barricaded yourself in the bathroom with candles like it was the apocalypse." Heat crept up my neck, not just from the memory. "Shut up. You were the one blasting that go-doffel playlist to scare the ghosts away." His hand landed on my shoulder then, light, casual, the kind of touch roommates give. But his fingers lingered, thumb tracing a small circle against my shirt. Time stretched, the storm fading to white noise. I could hear my own breath, shallow and quick, and his slower, deeper, sinking like it always did when we were this close. The air thickened, heavy with unsaid things. Want, fear, the what-ifs that kept me up at night, staring at the ceiling cracks that mapped out escape routes I'd never take. I turned slowly, afraid to break whatever this was. His face was inches away, illuminated by the phone's glow, strong jaw shadowed, eyes dark pools reflecting the chaos outside. "Alex," he murmured, my name a question and a plea wrapped in one syllable. My heart slammed against my ribs, a wild thing caged too long. I wanted to lean in, to taste the rain on his lips from where he dashed inside earlier, soaked and grinning. But the words stuck, thorns in my throat. What if this ruined us? What if the friendship, the only steady thing in my nomadic life, crumbled like the plaster on these walls? Thunder boomed again, closer, shaking the glass. The lights flickered once, teasing, cruel, then plunged us back into black. In that void, his hand slid down my arm, fingers intertwining with mine. No words, just the press of skin, warm and real, and the silence that screamed everything we'd buried. We stood like that for what felt like hours, the world raging outside while inside. Something shifted, cracked open. The storm wasn't just weather anymore. It was us, turbulent, inevitable, demanding we face the gale. By the time the rain eased to a patter, my phone buzzed, power company text. Outage estimated 2 hours. Jordan pulled away first, but not before squeezing my hand, a promise etched in pressure. "Coffee?" he asked, voice husky, like he'd run a marathon in his chest. I nodded, throat dry, black, like my soul. He laughed, that full, rolling sound that always uncoiled something tight in me, as he rummaged in the dark for the French press. Battery lantern casting golden halos, we moved around each other with a new awareness. Elbows brushing, breaths mingling. The apartment felt smaller, charged, every corner holding potential. We settled on the floor, backs against the couch, mugs steaming in the chill that seeped through the old windows. The coffee was bitter, grounding, but it couldn't mask the tension humming between us. Outside, sirens wailed faintly, the city stirring back to life. Inside, we were suspended. "Tell me something real," Jordan said suddenly, staring into his cup. His voice was soft, edged with vulnerability that made my chest ache. I swallowed, the steam curling like smoke signals. "Like what?" "Anything. The stuff you don't post on Instagram. The Alex under the filters." The question hit like a gut punch. I thought of the sketches hidden in my desk drawer. Not client work, but raw lines of faces, bodies, his face tangled in mine. Dreams I woke from sweating, heart pounding. I'm scared," I admitted, the words tumbling out like rain from a gutter. "Of this. What if?" "Don't," he cut in, gentle but firm. His knee nudged mine, a spark in the dark. "What if it's exactly what we've been waiting for?" His eyes locked on mine, and in them I saw it, the mirror of my own storm. Desire, raw and unfiltered. The kind that had simmered since that first shared beer in a dorm room, when his laugh had hooked something deep. But life had gotten in the way. My string of failed dates with women who sensed my half-heartedness. His quiet nights scrolling Grindr but never swiping right when I was home. We danced around it, roommates in denial until now. I set my mug down, the ceramic clinking like a toast to recklessness. Leaning in, I cupped his face, stubble rough under my palm, warm skin yielding. Our foreheads touched, breaths mingling hot and ragged. "Jordan," I whispered, the name a lifeline. His hand found my waist, pulling me closer, and then his lips were on mine. Tentative at first, testing, then hungry, like the storm had unleashed him. Taste of coffee and salt, the world narrowing to this. His fingers in my hair, my body arching into his, the low groan he let out that vibrated through me like thunder. We broke apart gasping, foreheads pressed, the silence now a cocoon. But as the adrenaline faded, reality crept in. The creak of the building, the distant hum of generators firing up. What came next? Labels? Explanations to friends? Family? The world outside wouldn't pause for our revelation. He traced my jaw, thumb gentle. "I've wanted this," he confessed, voice breaking on the edge. "For so long. But I didn't want to lose you." "Me too." The admission freed something, light as the flicker of returning power in the hall light. But as bulbs buzzed to life one by one, casting harsh yellow over us, I wondered if the dark had been our only ally. The silence had spoken, yes, but would words be enough to keep it alive? Morning light filtered through the blinds like a hesitant intruder, painting stripes across the rumpled sheets. I'd crashed on the couch after the kiss, too wired to share his bed, too terrified of what it meant. Jordan's door was ajar when I woke, the scent of fresh brew pulling me upright. My head throbbed, a hangover from emotions, not alcohol. Last night's storm had cleared, leaving the air crisp, sidewalks steaming under a reluctant sun. Brooklyn stirred. Vendors hawking bagels, joggers pounding pavement, the train rumbling subterranean. I padded to the kitchen, socks whispering on linoleum worn smooth by years of our footsteps. Jordan was at the counter, back to me, pouring coffee into mugs etched with dumb souvenirs from road trips we'd never taken alone. His hair was tousled, sleep rumpled in a way that made my stomach flip. He turned, smile tentative, eyes searching mine like he was reading one of his lesson plans for clues. "Morning," he said, sliding a mug my way. Steam rose, carrying notes of vanilla from the beans he'd splurged on last month. Our fingers brushed, electric, deliberate now, and neither pulled away. "Morning." I took a sip, scalding my tongue, a sharp pain that grounded me. The kiss replayed in loops. His mouth firm yet yielding, the way he'd sighed into it, a sound like surrender. But daylight brought scrutiny. "About last night. Don't overthink it." He leaned against the counter, arms crossed, flannel sleeves rolled to elbows revealing forearms dusted with hair. Teacher casual, but the intensity in his gaze was anything but. It was real. We were real. I nodded, but doubt gnawed. Real in the blackout, sure. Shadows forgiving, storm excusing the leap. But now, with rent due and my inbox exploding with revisions, I was Alex, the guy who fixed logos for startups, not the hero in some queer rom-com. And Jordan, God, he deserved someone who could shout it from rooftops, not whisper it in power outages. We ate breakfast in companionable quiet, toast crunching, butter melting golden. But under it, questions bubbled. Who were we to each other now? Boyfriends? Still just roommates with benefits? The word gay had always floated in my periphery. Pride flags on parade routes I'd watched from afar, coming out stories in podcasts that made my chest tight. I dated women through college, convincing myself the spark was there, but it fizzled every time, leaving me hollow. Jordan had been my constant, the one who knew my coffee order, my panic attacks before pitches, the scars from a childhood where different meant detention for daydreaming about boys in gym class. "You've got that look," he said, breaking the silence with a forkful of scrambled eggs. The sizzle from the pan earlier still echoed in my ears, a domestic symphony. "What look?" "The one where you're sketching escape routes in your head." He reached across the table, hand covering mine. Warmth seeped in, thawing the chill I'd woken with. "Talk to me, Alex." "Like always." I exhaled, long and shaky, the sound filling the space like steam from the kettle. "I'm scared it'll change everything. The easy stuff, movie nights, splitting Ubers to bars. What if we fuck it up?" His thumb stroked my knuckle, a rhythm that steadied my pulse. "Or what if it's better? We've been dancing around this for years. Remember that time in the Hamptons, crashing that wedding? You caught the bouquet, and I pretended it was bad luck for guys." I laughed, the memory sharp. "Sea salt on our skin. his arms slung casual around my shoulders as waves crashed. The almost kiss under fireworks that dissolved into bro hugs when friends approached. Yeah, coward move. His eyes darkened, not with regret, but heat. No more of that. The promise hung, tantalizing. We cleared plates in sync, elbows bumping playful. And when he pulled me close by the sink, water running hot over dishes, suds foaming like sea foam, I didn't resist. His kiss was slower this time, exploratory, lips parting to taste the remnants of breakfast, tongue teasing mine with a groan that vibrated low in his chest. My hands fisted his shirt, bunching fabric, pulling him flush. He smelled of soap and sleep, felt solid, anchoring. We broke apart breathless, foreheads touching, the drip of the faucet punctuating our pants. Work, I muttered, glancing at the clock. 9:15, late for my virtual meeting. He grinned, nipping my lower lip. Go conquer pixels. I'll see you tonight. The day blurred. Zoom calls in coffee shops with generators humming backup. Clients nitpicking color palettes while my mind wandered to the press of his body. Texts pinged, Jordan's. Miss your face already. Survive the corporate vultures. Mine, barely. Thinking about your mouth. Emojis followed, flames and hearts. A digital flirtation that felt dangerously normal. By evening, the city pulsed neon, streetlights buzzing back to full strength. I climbed the stairs heavy-footed, key scraping the lock with a familiar click. The apartment glowed warm, candles flickering on the coffee table. Remnants of storm prep, now romantic. Jordan emerged from the bedroom, hair damp from a shower, wearing that gray Henley that hugged his chest just right. Dinner? He asked, holding up takeout bags. Italian from the spot on Atlantic Avenue, garlic and basil wafting promise. We ate cross-legged on the floor, wine loosening tongues. Stories spilled. His disastrous first date with a guy in grad school, hiding in a bar bathroom to text me for rescue. My secret hookups on apps, deleted profiles after guilt crashes. Laughter mingled with sighs, the kind that release pressure valves. Why didn't we do this sooner? I wondered aloud, twirling pasta on my fork, sauce staining my lip. Fear's a hell of a editor, he replied, wiping my mouth with his thumb, lingering to trace the curve. Desire flared again, hot and insistent, but we savored the slow burn. Kisses between bites, hands exploring under shirts, mapping freckles and dips like new territory. Later, tangled on the couch, movie forgotten on pause, his weight over me felt like homecoming. Whispers in the dark, not blackout dark, but chosen, intimate. I love you, he breathed against my neck, words muffled in skin, but clear as a bell. The confession stopped my heart, then restarted at triple time. Love you too, I echoed, voice cracking, tears pricking hot. It was messy, profound, the climax of years unspoken. But as we lay spent, limbs entwined, a knock rattled the door. Sharp, insistent. Jordan tensed, slipping on sweats. Who the hell? I followed, not in my gut. He peered through the peephole, face paling. It's my brother. The door swung open, revealing Mark, tall like Jordan, but sharper edges, ex-Marine with a buzz cut and eyes that missed nothing. Surprise visit? He boomed, clapping Jordan's back hard enough to jolt him. Then his gaze landed on me, disheveled, lips swollen. The air thickened, judgment unspoken but heavy as the humidity post-storm. Alex, Mark said, nod curt. Roomy still crashing here? Jordan's hand found mine behind the doorframe, squeeze fierce. Yeah, and more. The silence that followed spoke volumes. Familial expectations crashing against our fragile new world. Mark's brow furrowed, questions brewing like thunderheads. The night, so electric hours ago, now teetered on the edge of revelation. How much truth could we bear before it broke us? Mark barreled in like he owned the place, duffel slung over his shoulder, filling the apartment with the scent of airport lounges, stale coffee and vinyl seats. He dropped his bag by the couch, oblivious or willfully blind to the rumpled throw pillows that screamed our earlier abandon. "Long flight from San Diego," he grunted, kicking off boots caked in California dust. "Figured I'd crash here a few days. Mom's been on my ass about visiting." Jordan shot me a look, panic laced with resolve. His fingers still laced in mine, hidden from view. I squeezed back, a silent pact. "Not yet, but soon." "Great," Jordan managed, voice steady as he disentangled. "Beer's in the fridge. Alex was just heading out. Actually, I cut in forcing casual, staying. We were watching that new Scorsese thing. Lie smooth as the Merlot we'd polished off. But Mark's eyes narrowed, copping the vibe shift. He cracked a beer, foam hissing over the rim, and flopped onto the couch. Our couch, still warm from bodies pressed close. "So, what's new with you two? Still playing house in this dump?" His laugh was bark loud, but his gaze flicked between us, probing. Mark was the golden child, married young, kid on the way, the Ellis family poster boy for straight and narrow. Jordan's coming out? It'd be seismic, ripples back to their conservative suburb in Jersey, where Dad still tuned the game on Sundays and Mom baked pies with Bible verses etched in crust. We migrated to the kitchen, Jordan plating leftovers under the harsh fluorescence that buzzed like judgmental insects. I leaned against the counter, arms crossed, watching Mark dominate the space. Stories of boot camp reunions, his wife's cravings for pickles at midnight, laughter forced from us, but under it, tension coiled tight. Every brush of Jordan's hip against mine felt defiant, a spark in dry tinder. "You look good, bro," Mark said, clinking bottles with Jordan. "Less like that mopey lit major. Teaching suits you." Jordan's smile was tight, jaw working. "Yeah, kids keep me honest." He glanced at me, eyes softening. Our secret language, the one built in late-night confessions over whiskey shots. "Alex here keeps me sane." Mark raised a brow, swigging deep. "Roommates with benefits?" "Ha, kidding." But the joke landed flat, echo hollow. He wasn't kidding. Not entirely. The air crackled, unspoken accusations hanging. What's really going on? Why the glow? The easy touches? I excused myself to the bathroom, splashing cold water on my face, mirror fogging with my breath. Ragged, uneven, staring at my reflection, eyes shadowed from emotional whiplash. I gripped the sink. This was it, the collision course. Jordan's family knew he was particular, as Mom euphemized, but acceptance? It was a maybe, wrapped in prayers and phases. My own folks, divorced, distant, had texted rainbow emojis last Pride, but words were cheap. Deeds? Unproven. Back in the living room, Mark was mid-rant about politics, Fox News echo in his tone, but Jordan shut it down gentle. "Not tonight, man. Storm's got me beat." He yawned theatrically, clapping Mark's shoulder. "Guest room's yours, my room. I'll take the couch." "No way," Mark protested. But Jordan was already herding him down the hall, murmurs fading. I sank onto the armchair, heart hammering. The city's night symphony filtering in, horns blaring, laughter from the bar below. Jordan returned minutes later, door clicking soft. He dropped beside me, head on my shoulder, exhale long and weary. That was close. Too close. My arm wrapped around him instinctive, fingers threading his hair, soft, damp from earlier nerves. He suspects. Maybe. He nuzzled closer, lips brushing my collarbone. But it's ours, not his to police. The words ignited something fierce. Protectiveness, love, the raw edge of defiance. I tilted his chin up, kissing him slow, deep, pouring gratitude into it. He melted, hands sliding under my shirt, nails grazing skin in trails that raised goosebumps. We moved quiet, mindful of ears down the hall, kisses trailing necks, shirts discarded in whispers, bodies aligning on the floor in a nest of blankets. His gasps were muffled against my shoulder, my name a chant low and fervent. Climax built like the storm's crescendo, waves crashing, release shattering in shared shudders. After, slick and sated, we lay tangled, breaths sinking to the rain's distant patter. Resumed drizzle, as if the sky wept with us. I meant it, he whispered, tracing patterns on my chest. Love you. All in. All in, I echoed, throat thick. Sleep tugged, but vigilance kept me awake. Mark's snores rumbling through walls like accusations. Dawn crept gray, coffee brewing auto, our ritual now layered with meaning. Mark emerged, rumpled, oblivious facade cracking with a yawn. Coffee smells like heaven. You two up all night plotting world domination. Jordan poured, steady. Something like that. His wink at me, private, electric, sealed it. The day unfolded uneasy. Mark tagging along to my studio drop-off, critiquing my portfolio with brutal marine honesty. Too artsy, man. Give him punch. Jordan mediated, laugh strained, but under the table at lunch. Diner booths sticky with syrup residue. His foot hooked mine, anchor in the storm. Afternoon brought escape. Mark napping off jet lag, Jordan pulling me to the roof. Wind whipped, carrying hot dog vendors and exhaust. The skyline jagged against blue. He backed me against the ledge, hands framing my face. Run away with me? Half joke, but I serious. Where? I laughed, but leaned in, foreheads touching, city sprawl our witness. Anywhere, as long as it's us. The kiss there was bold, sun-warmed lips, his stubble scraping sweet, hands roaming free under jackets. No shadows to hide in. This was daylight claiming. But as cheers erupted from a street fair below, reality intruded. My phone buzzed. Client crisis. Jordan's two-parent email about a kid's essay on identity. Irony biting. Back inside, Mark waited, bag packed early. Got a red-eye tomorrow. But hey, dinner tonight? My treat. That Italian place. Jordan hesitated, my hand finding his under the counter. Squeeze. Yes, face it head-on. Evening loomed, the restaurant's candlelit tables a stage. Mark ordered steaks rare, blood pooling like unspoken bloodlines. Conversation danced, work woes, sports scores. Then, wine loosening guards, he leaned in. Saw the way you two look at each other. Like in those old movies Dad hates. Jordan's fork paused. Clink loud. My pulse thundered, salt shaker sweating in my grip. It's okay, Mark continued, surprising soft. Just be happy, yeah? Mom'll come around. Dad, give him time. Relief crashed, tears pricking Jordan's eyes. Quick blink. Hidden. Thanks, man. Mark clapped his back, grin crooked. Brothers before. Well, you know. Laughter broke tension. Genuine now, the silence between us three shifting, from wall to bridge. That night, Mark gone, Jordan and I collapsed laughing, then loving, fierce, grateful. The blackout had sparked it, but this was the dawn after. Light exposing truths we'd embrace. Yet, as weeks blurred, new storms brewed. My promotion interview looming, Jordan's tenure review shadowed by school board whispers on lifestyle. The world outside our bubble tested, but hand in hand, we faced it. Silence no longer louder than words, but woven with them. Fall crept in on crisp gusts, leaves skittering across brownstone stoops like confetti from a half-forgotten parade. Our routine solidified. Mornings tangled in sheets, coffee shared with knees knocking under the table, evenings where I'd sketch while he read aloud from dog-eared paperbacks, voice weaving magic. Alex and Jordan, boyfriends now, labels fitting like favorite jeans, worn in and true. But labels drew lines, and lines invited scrutiny. It started subtle. A colleague's email to Jordan, forwarded chain about professional boundaries after photos from a faculty mixer surfaced. Us. Arms linked at a queer book reading, smiles unguarded. Just a heads up. It read, tone paternal poison. Then my world. A client pull out vague cultural fit excuse after spotting my pride pin in a virtual background. Rejection stung, not for the loss, but the reminder. Love like ours was progress, but fragile, one headline away from backlash. We armored up. Date nights at hidden speakeasies, where jazz hummed low and hands intertwined unseen under tables. One night, in a basement bar off Bedford, saxophone wailing like heartache, Jordan pulled me to the makeshift dance floor. Bodies swayed dim-lit, sweat and perfume mingling, his chest pressed to mine, heartbeats dueling. "Remember our first slow dance?" he murmured, breath hot on my ear. Prom, faked with dates, but eyes locked across the gym. "How could I forget?" I replied, hands splaying his back, feeling muscle shift. We moved fluid, lost in rhythm, until a drunk stumbled into us. Slur muttered low, "Faggots ruining the vibe." The word landed like a slap, ugliness cutting through haze. Jordan stiffened, but I pulled him closer. "Ignore?" I whispered, but fury simmered. Old wounds reopening. The boy I'd been, hiding bruises from playground taunts. Outside, alley cool, we leaned against brick, graffiti tags blurring in streetlight. He cupped my face, thumbs wiping unshed tears. "Not tonight," he said, fierce. "Not us." The kiss there was reclamation. Teeth nipping, bodies grinding urgent against wall. His moan swallowed by my mouth. We tumbled home, shedding clothes in the stairwell, door barely shut before he had me against it. Legs wrapped, nails digging, release crashing like waves on Coney Boardwalk. After, curled on the bed, sheets twisted, he traced my tattoos. Small rainbow hidden on my rib. "You're my brave," he said, voice raw. "And you're my home." Words sealed it, but sleep evaded, city's pulse mocking our sanctuary. Next crisis hit midweek. Jordan's principal called him in, office sterile with fluorescent hum and coffee breath. "Parental concerns," she said, files stacked like indictments. "About your personal life influencing curriculum." The essay on Whitman, Leaves of Grass, homoerotic verses, flagged as inappropriate. Jordan came home hollow-eyed, slinging keys on the counter with a clatter that echoed gunshot. I met him at the door, arms enveloping before words. "Tell me." He collapsed into me, face buried in my neck, shoulders shaking silent. Sobs racked him, deep, guttural, the kind that hollow bones. I held tight, murmuring nonsense. "I've got you. We're solid." The scent of his shampoo, citrus sharp, mixed with salt tears, grounding in grief. We sank to the floor, his head in my lap, fingers combing his hair as story spilled. Demands to tone it down, whispers of transfer. "They want me invisible," he choked, fist clenching carpet fibers. Like the kid I was, lying to mirrors. Rage boiled in me, hot, protective. "Fuck that. You're the best damn teacher those kids have." Walt Whitman? That's truth, not agenda. He looked up, eyes red-rimmed but sparking. "Fight with me. Always." We rose, energy shifting. Dinner abandoned for laptop glow. Drafting emails to union reps, allies in the district. Laughter crept in over bad takeout. His foot teasing mine under the table. A reminder. Joy persists. But the real storm brewed familial. Thanksgiving loomed. Jordan's invite extended hesitant. "Mom's asking about that nice Alex." Dad's neutral. Neutral meant loaded. Golf jokes masking unease. Bible studies on traditional values. I swallowed fear. "We go. Show them us." The drive to Jersey was soundtrack of classic rock. Windows down, wind tousling hair. His hand on my thigh, thumb circling denim. Anchor. Arrival. Mom's hug bone-crushing, apple pie cooling on sill. Dad's nod gruff, handshake firm but eyes appraising. Dinner table groaned under turkey and sides. Grace said with clasped hands. Mine and Jordan's linked under linen, secret rebellion. Conversation flowed wary. Work updates, nephew's soccer goals. Then Mom, fork poised. You two seem close, like brothers but more. Silence fell, silverware still. Jordan's grip tightened, pulse racing under my thumb. More, he said, voice steady as new-fallen snow. We're together, in love. Dad's knife scraped plate, loud and hush. Mom's eyes widened, then softened, tears glistening. Oh, honey. Embrace followed, fierce, pie forgotten. Dad cleared throat, gaze on window, twilight painting leaves gold. As long as you're happy, that's what matters. Words clipped, but earnest, a bridge extended tentative. Relief flooded, hugs exchanged, toasts with spiked cider. Night deepened, guest room shared, door locked, bodies quiet but urgent. His whispers of thank you against skin as we moved slow, reverent. Dawn brought pancakes, banter easy, the family expanding to include me, not add-on but integral. Back in Brooklyn, high on acceptance, we hosted our own feast. Friends from queer collectives, laughter echoing off walls. But euphoria waned. Jordan's review board date circled. My portfolio pitch to a conservative firm teetered. The world tested, but we'd learned silence could wound, but voices united healed. One evening, power flickered, brownout, not full outage, candles lit proactive. We danced in flicker, his arms my harbor. Whatever comes, he vowed, lips to temple. Us against it, I replied, heart full. The lights steadied, but our glow, unflickering. Yet, as winter bit, a call shattered. My mom, voice trembling over line. Heard from your sister about you and Jordan. Is it true? Fear-laced, old hurts surfacing, her own divorce, whispers of her phase in youth. I paced the kitchen, Jordan's hand on back. Steady. Yes, Mom, it's real. I love him. Paws stretched, breaths ragged. Then, I'm happy for you. Just wish you'd told me sooner. Tears mutual but bridge built. Dinner plans whispered, progress inching. Jordan's bored? Allies rallied, petition signed, Whitman defended as canon. Verdict, caution, but tenure intact. We celebrated rooftop, city lights winking approval. His body arching under mine in shadowed corner. Release euphoric, stars witnesses. Love wasn't linear. It stormed, flickered, endured. Our silence had spoken once. Now words roared, defiant, loving, alive. Winter clamped Brooklyn in iron grip. Snow piling drifts against fire escapes, muffling the city's roar to a hush. Our world shrank to heated breaths and bundled walks. Gloved hands swinging, scarves tangling as we ducked into diners for cocoa spiked with rum. Jordan's laugh warmed more than steam rising from mugs. My sketches filled with his profile, lines capturing the crinkle at his eyes when he teased. Stability, hard won, but shadows lingered. Job hunts for me, curriculum tweaks for him, the grind of proving worth in spaces not built for us. It escalated on a February night, gale howling like banshees, power lines sagging under ice. We were mid-dinner, lasagna bubbling, wine decanting, when lights stuttered, died. Echo of that first storm, but now no fear. Excitement sparked. Deja vu, Jordan grinned, lighting candles, flames dancing gold on his skin. We ate by glow, forks clinking, stories weaving. His student, out kid thriving under his wing. My freelance win, queer-owned brand embracing my vision. Laughter flowed, but undercurrent tugged. Email from HR earlier. Sensitivity training mandatory after anonymous complaint. Whose eyes? Paranoia crept, cold as draft through cracks. Post-meal, we migrated to bed, fort of blankets, his body spooning mine, hand splayed possessive on belly. Miss the blackout magic, he murmured, lips to nape, teeth grazing. Make our own, I replied, turning, capturing mouth in kiss salty with Chianti. Hands roamed familiar, his calluses from chalkboards rough on thighs, my fingers tracing collarbone dips. Slow build, gasps sinking to wind's wail, climax cresting in shudders, his name torn from me like prayer. Sleep claimed gentle, but midnight jolted, doorbell shrill, cutting dark. Jordan stirred, groggy. Delivery! I checked peephole. 2 cops, badges glinting under hall light. Heart plummeted. Mr. Ellis? Harper. Voices official, boots scuffing mat. Door crack chain, chill invading. Yes. Complaint, noise, disturbance. Neighbors say. Altercation. Eyes flicked inside, suspicious. Jordan behind me, hand on hip, calm facade. Just us. Storms loud. Maybe the wind. They pressed. Descriptions mismatched, but implication hung. Queer couple. Rowdy. Warnings issued. Door shut firm. We collapsed laughing nervous, but seed planted. Vulnerability. Always one step from intrusion. Days blurred to March thaw. Slush sucking at boots. Hope budding with crocuses in community plots. Jordan's spring musical. Rent production with queer leads. Rehearsals late. Him home humming show tunes. Voice vibrating through walls as I worked. Pride swelled, but envy nipped. His passion tangible. Mine pixels on screens. Crisis peaked at my pitch. Boardroom sterile, suits starched, my portfolio bold. Campaigns celebrating diverse love. Slides clicked, voices murmured approval, until head honcho leaned forward. Smile oily, edgy, but markets conservative. Tone down the rainbow elements. Rejection veiled, but clear me diluted. Drive home furious, tires splashing puddles. Radio blaring anthems of revolt. Jordan waited, dinner simmering, chili spicy as my mood. Story spilled over bowls, steam curling like anger. That's bullshit, he growled, spoon slamming. You're brilliant. They don't deserve you. Validation soothed, but doubt festered. Maybe I need safe, steady job, not freelancing roulette. His eyes flashed hurt. Safe? Like hiding? We didn't fight for this to shrink. Words escalated, voices rising, old fears surfacing. His of erasure, mine of instability. I'm tired of scraping. I shot back, chair scraping linoleum. Love's great, but bills don't pay on kisses. Silence crashed, heavier than any storm. He stood, face crumpling, betrayal raw. Is that what this is? Obligation? No. But door slammed, him grabbing coat, storming out into drizzle. Apartment echoed empty, chilly cooling untouched. My sobs hot and choking. Phone dark, no texts. Hours ticked, panic gnawing. Had I broken us? Midnight brought key scrape, door opening slow. Jordan, soaked, eyes red. Rain or tears? He dropped coat, puddles forming. Walked the bridge. Thought about us from blackout to now. I rose, tentative. I'm sorry. Scared. Not shrinking. He crossed, arms enveloping, water dripping. Me too. We're in the mess together. Forgiveness in kisses, wet, desperate, clothes shedding in trail to bed. Love-making urgent, bodies slamming apologies. His bites marking possession. My nails raking forgiveness. Release shattered, tears mingling on pillows. Dawn brought clarity, joint resume tweaks, his network for my gigs, my designs for his theater posters. Teamwork, forged stronger. Spring bloomed full, cherry blossoms, pink confetti. Pride planning feverish. We marched hand in hand. Rainbow flags whipping, chants rhythmic. Love is love. Strangers' cheers fueled, but a counter-protester's sign. God hates. Stung, shove ensuing. Cops intervened neutral, but Jordan's bruise flowered purple, reminder of edges. Home, ice packs and whispers, he traced my worry lines. Worth it. Visibility saves lives. Like that kid's. Nodding, I kissed the mark, vow. Our story rippled. Articles on his production, my art in queer mags. Success bittersweet, scrutiny twin. Summer sizzled in, heat waves warping air. Fire hydrants spraying kids' laughter. Vacation beckoned, cheap cabin upstate, lake mirror to skies. Drive singing off-key, windows down, his hand on gearshift, hours. Cabin creaked welcome. Pine scent thick, loons calling eerie. Evenings by fire pit, marshmallows toasting golden. Stories deep. Childhood secrets, dreams deferred. One night, stars carpet overhead. He dropped to knee. Ring simple, silver band etched with always. Marry me? Not for papers, but promise. Tears blurred, yes tumbling. Love making under canopy. Grass tickling backs, crickets chorus. His vows gasped into skin. Ecstasy profound, union sealed. But return crashed. Wedding whispers to families, my mom's hesitation. Rushed. Jordan's folks tepid. Society's gaze. Registry flooded supportive, trolls venomous online. We navigated, voices united. Fall circled again, anniversary of blackout. Power stable, but we dimmed lights willful, candles flickering memories. To silences that spoke, he toasted, glass clinking. And words that healed, I added, pulling him close. Dance slow, body's memory, love's crescendo building eternal. Autumn leaves blazed pyre, crunching underfoot as we planned. The wedding, small but fierce, backyard affair in Jersey. Mom's roses backdropping vows. Invite sent tentative. Mark's RSVP enthusiastic, scribbled, proud as hell. My sister flying in, brother-in-law joking bowtie colors. Jordan's parents confirmed, neutral note masking thaw, therapy sessions helping, as he shared quiet. Prep frenzy. My tuck sketches refined, his playlist curated. Springsteen anthems for recessional. Stress peaked mid-October. Venue rain threat looming. Florist flaking. We bickered over cake. Chocolate versus red velvet. Tension snapping like dry branches. Can't we just elope? I groaned. Head in hands, table strewn with swatches. Jordan knelt, hands on knees, echo of proposal. No shortcuts. This is our declaration. Eyes met, storm passing. Kiss sealed, soft. Promise renewed. Friends rallied. Drag brunch for bachelor party. Laughter healing frayed nerves. Wedding dawn broke golden. Fog lifting lake-like over lawns. I waited aisle end. Heart thunder. Jordan appearing, suit tailored sharp. Eyes locked laser. Vows exchanged trembling. In blackouts and light, I choose you. Rings slid warm. Kiss sealing. Cheers erupting, confetti swirling. Reception hummed. Toasts roasting, dances swaying. Mark twirling me awkward. Mom's embrace tear-damp. Night deepened, stars pricking velvet. Us slipping away to gazebo. Husband, he whispered. Hand in mine, weight profound. Honeymoon cabin redux, but now rings glinting firelight. Lovemaking leisurely. Exploring as new, his fingers tracing vows inked on skin. Forever, gasped mutual, climax symphony to loon's call. Return to rhythm. Merged finances, shared chores seamless. Challenges persisted, school budget cuts threatening arts. My studio lease hike. But united, we pivoted. Joint grant for his program. Pop-up exhibit for my work. Winter solstice brought milestone. Adoption inquiry, fostering teen. Out kid needing home like we once did. Home study past tearful, first placement spring. A wiry 16-year-old, Jamie, eyes wary but sparking stories. Integration rocky. Jamie's walls high, nightmares pacing halls. Jordan's patience teacher gold. My art sessions coaxing drawings, raw healing. Family dinners evolved, board games, inside jokes, our love model, handholds casual, affections open. One night, power dipped, routine now, lanterns ready. Jamie froze, memories of blackouts unsafe. We gathered fort-like, stories shared. Our first storm, silence is breaking. His tentative, thanks for seeing me. Tears collective, hug chain, family forged. Years layered, Jamie's graduation, our 10th anniversary vow renewal under same stars. Wrinkles etched laugh lines, grays threading hair, but fire undimmed. Kisses stolen in kitchens, adventures road-tripping coasts. Elder now, Brooklyn traded for upstate quiet, cabin expanded, Lakeview eternal. Grandkids visit, tumbling grass, Jordan reading fables, voice gravel warm. Evenings porch swing, his head my shoulder, hands veined but clasped firm. One dusk, storm brews, clouds boiling, thunder grumbling. Lights flicker, die. We sit unchanged, candles kindling memories. Hear that? He murmurs, ear to chest. My heart beats steady. Our silence, I reply, kissing temple, still speaking loudest. He smiles, eyes twinkling, love's light unfading. Storm rages, but inside, calm harbor, words and quiet in harmony. The end? Not blackout, but glow, meaningful, enduring, ours.